That is Portugal the Man and Feel It Still. Good morning. Breakfast on BBC Radio Shropshire. The sun is shining. It's a nice morning. And how do I know that? Because I've come outside into the car park at BBC Radio Shropshire because right in front of me is Trudy. Now, Trudy isn't a guest. Trudy is a vehicle. Trudy is a camper van. Chris and Marianne Fisher are my next guests. And they embark today on the journey of a lifetime. They're going to tread the globe. It says tread the globe on the side of the camper van here. It might be something a lot of us dream about. You give up the day job, you buy a motorhome and you travel the world. For most of us, it remains just that, a dream. But Chris and Marianne Fisher are going all the way. The jobs have gone, the camper van's been bought. Here it is. Today they head off to tread the globe. They're saying goodbye to family and friends this afternoon, and they are here, right here, in the car park with us now. Morning, both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely morning.
It's beautiful. I feel that we've been blessed with lovely weather to set us on our maiden voyage.
Oh, you're so poetic, Marianne. You really are.
I'm feeling poetic today.
Yeah. How are you, Chris?
I'm very well. The day is finally here.
I know. All this preparation,
D-Day.
eh? Yeah.
Well, it was about a year ago I think we came in and had a chat to you, wasn't it? And
Have you sold all your stuff?
yeah, it's all gone.
Has it?
Yeah,
Including the juicer.
including the juicer
That we
talked
never
about.
ever actually use.
Tell me about it. I've got one in the cupboard as
Yeah,
well.
we
Let's
have
let's
some.
step inside because it's going to be a bit nice and
Come on, let's
and
go
cosy in there, isn't it? Really, and we can talk about the juicer, Marianne, as well, if you like. Everybody's got one of those sorts of things in the back of the cupboard. You never used it.
Never used it. A little fad. We're going to lose weight. We're going to get fit. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And of course, it just sat in the cupboard. And of course, in the cupboard, there were other things that we never used, and we didn't realise that we didn't use until we actually eBayed and car booted everything. And it's only when we look back on the footage of the photos of us car booting that we even realised that we owned it. We don't miss anything.
Really?
Anything.
We've got rid of literally everything. Even
Yeah.
the car went last week, so it's just the van now.
Yeah.
And
what's
we
in the
don't
van?
miss anything. We don't miss absolutely anything. I mean, on the last few days we were in the house, we were laughing because I was eating my breakfast out of a measuring jug because it was the last thing. It was it was the only thing I had to eat it out of.
Yeah.
But
We see a lot of us say, and we say it time and time again, oh, we must get rid of some of this junk. And we never bother doing it because you think, oh, I'm going to miss that. But you don't miss it in the end, do you?
Honestly, I cannot think. Although this morning, I'm glad it's a radio show because I don't have a hairdryer. And yes, this
you were
face
having
is
a
for
wild
radio.
hair day.
Yeah. Oh, you're so polite. You're smart.
I'm not saying a word.
I don't have that problem.
I know you don't. Follically challenged, my friend. A bit like me. Okay. Tell me, take us back for a second or two. We'll sort of do a brief track back and then we look forward. Where did this all start?
We've always had a passion for travel, and we've been travelling. We've met lots of people that are on these never-ending holidays, and they've taken gap years or 2 years out, and it just makes you think, you know, we're a little bit jealous of that with our 3 weeks holiday. And we lost a couple of friends over the last year or so, and we just thought, you know, I think it really highlights to you that life is too short. And it needs to be lived. And I thought we've worked hard. We've got this nice house full of stuff. And why am I going to work for the next 20 years just to afford to live in the house that I've already bought, you know, with all the bills? And there has to be more to life than just turning up for that 9-5 routine day in, day out. And we just took the plunge and thought, let's do it.
So think carefully back now. Where did the idea come from? Who said it first?
I don't know. Marianne's looking
saw
like
the look then,
that.
you
She's
see, that's why
looking.
I
It's probably Marianne. I mean, as you know, I worked at the hospital. I had you know, quite a stressful job, and you know, I think it was probably. I think it was a joint decision.
Definitely a joint decision.
I think Marianne was the one that persuaded me to actually just say, "Oh,
What
quit
about
your
if,
job."
you know?
I think I was really worried about Chris. You know, I love him, and he's
Oh.
one of these guys that when anyone who's had him work for them is the luckiest company or organisation on the planet, because he is so dedicated and so passionate about everything he does, and he cares so much about everything. And when working for the NHS, I think everyone who knows him will agree, he honestly has made so many improvements, savings, worked really hard and tirelessly to try and improve the service for the patients, for the people who actually matter. And everybody works so diligently and hard in the NHS to provide a great service, but he was definitely a shining star for me. I worked there too, and seeing the Cafe Bistro that he helped design, and just the improvements that he generated.
I haven't even paid her to say that.
No, honestly,
You were catering manager at the
I
RSH.
was, yeah. I quit. Well, last June. It's nearly a year. It's nearly a year. It's taken us nearly a year to empty our house.
Well, I was going to say, how long in the planning then to do this?
It's well, I think we decided to do this nutty thing January 2017, but we'd planned to do it maybe in 5 years' time, and then. Of course, you get the seed in your head, and you just think, you just think, why are we waiting? Life's short. Let's just.
It's taken a year to empty the house.
It really
Well,
has.
and it's a little bit disappointing because you go and you buy that 4K surround sound TV with all the gadgets, and you pay full price for it, and then as you get rid of your stuff, you realise that there is no value to anything you own, and everything that you've saved hard to buy, and the gadgets that you buy that you didn't really need but you feel you ought to have, actually somebody will come up and see a beautiful, for example, I had a beautiful cheese board with a glass dome, and a woman came up and said 50p, and I had to say to her, I'm sorry, I can't sell it for 50p because it's a really nice thing, and you just think, really, is this it?
I think we're very materialistic, and as a country or whatever, and as a planet, and you see things on eBay and you think, well, this cost me a fortune, and you look on eBay and there's so many people selling them, and you realise that it's not anything special anymore. No. It's just another bit of stuff.
You see, I've got loads of cameras, and Linda keeps saying to me, why don't you sell them? And I said, because I'll get peanuts for them.
Yeah, I think generally you do, second-hand stuff as well, and then there's that element of, is it going to work? And people just don't want to pay for stuff.
It's like the juicer, isn't it, Marianne?
You
buy it because, but it is, isn't it? The juicer.
I never used it,
no,
and I lost half the value by selling it.
It looks nice and shiny, and you're going to use that. That's it, and you don't.
Another gadget. Absolutely.
Tell me about the kidney donation.
Oh, that went swimmingly. Absolutely fabulous. In fact, my best friend Kate is probably tuned in, screaming at the radio right now because.
Was this after we last spoke?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, I'm fabulous.
I'd not realised it was after we last spoke.
Yeah, it was.
Chris quit his job in June to look after me because I was due to have the surgery end of June.
So you were giving a kidney to your best friend?
To my best friend, who I didn't match, so we entered a paired scheme. It's a national scheme, and so a donor and a recipient enter in, non-matching, and the NHS multidisciplinary teams work together to find another non-matching pair, put them together, and there's basically two kidneys, taken out, put into helicopters, and flown across the country, and it's just it's absolutely incredible, really. I didn't know about it, and I worked in the NHS. And we are all fabulous. I'm not allowed to know the other donors or recipients, but I have been informed by the consultants and specialist teams that the other donor is fabulous too, and both recipients are just doing really well.
When was this?
July the 19th last year. Right. So I'm absolutely back. Honestly, I feel no different at all. Wow. I wouldn't know that I'd had major surgery.
That's the weight of a kidney. I get it. Right. Okay, let's look at this now. We are in
Trudy,
a very compact camper van.
Yeah, which also has a palm tree, inflatable palm tree on the bed, you may have noticed.
Do not run away, by the way, dear listener, do not run away that this is one of these 35-foot Winnebagos. It's not.
No, she's actually just under 6 metres. And she's 2.52 metres tall. I know that because when Chris was filming me, we went under a bridge and I had to flinch because I didn't know how tall it was.
We closed our eyes because we didn't know how tall the van was.
But fortunately...
and I'll tell you, you duck in your seat, don't you? You duck, don't you? You can't open it.
The roof was still on there.
You duck in your seat. As if it's going to make it any smaller.
She's driven in the middle of the bridge where it's higher.
So where'd you find this then?
in a motor place in Crewe. spinny motors. And we did a lot of research, but I had a fair idea of what I wanted because I'd done lots of camping and camper vanning with my family. And my dad went from the 6-berth, and then as we all left home, he went down to the 2-berth, and it's actually the same model. The bed is a fixed bed at the back, which accommodates a 6'3" man.
It does. Yeah, I'm 6'3", and this is one of the only vans that I could actually lie flat in. And I don't know why. All the salesmen say to you, yeah, but how often do you actually lie flat in your bed? And it's maybe you don't, but it's nice to have the option if you want to.
But it's very compact, isn't it? I mean, no, hang on. You see, that's an estate agent's Bijou. Bijou is it's small.
I think when we went through the process, we went from, okay, so you've gone from a nice 5-bedroom house, and you think, okay, let's find the biggest motorhome we could find, because you try and replicate your house. And then we were like, this is insane. We won't be able to park it. We won't be able to drive it down small lanes. Then we went all the way to the other saying, why don't we just go in a car with a tent? And then we ended up in the middle ground with this.
I needed a front door. I said I can't live in a tent out of the car.
This is our front door.
The front door is the siding door of the van, and that's great. But it is Bijou. It is. And
From a 5-bedroom house it is.
It is, and on the subject of the house, when we say we've sold everything, we've rented that out because we don't get pensions until I've got another 17 years, Chris has got another 20 years, and also we've both worked incredibly hard to have this property so that when we go to the other side, our family have something to show that we've worked hard. We don't want to sell that. We want to use it as an income.
Well, it gives a regular income, because if you sell it, your assets start going down if you spend it, if you need the money. So.
And we're not careless or frivolous. We've planned it. We're going to try and make it as sustainable as possible. If we run out of money, we'll do a bit of volunteering on a farm, do a bit of fruit picking, maybe work behind a bar or something. So we're going to sustain ourselves, and we're not irresponsible, and we've blown it all away. We've tried to do it in a sustainable, responsible way.
I think a lot of travellers that we've met are sort of younger guys that have taken a year out, or they've saved up and they're doing a working holiday in Australia or something like that. And I think it's
comes to an end.
Yeah, as an older sort of middle-aged person, I don't class myself as old yet, but as a middle-aged person, I'm 47, and you think, there's not that many of our generation that I haven't actually met anybody that's had a nice big house full of stuff that's got rid of all of it.
And planning to do it indefinitely.
And this is it. Everything we own is in this van.
We talk all the time at home about downsizing, and we never get it. We never do it. No. But you can do it if you really put your mind to it.
But you have to want to. If you've built this beautiful home that you love, and you've brought your children up in it, and you have all those memories, and it's a very emotional thing, a property. You do get
materialistic, don't you? And I think we're focusing now on life's experiences and meeting people around the world. And I mean, talking about meeting people, since they put us on BBC Midlands, we have had literally thousands of offers of come and stay with us, you can park on our van, we want to take you to Disneyland for the day, you guys look like so much, because we've got the YouTube channel, so people are watching us on YouTube and they're saying, you guys are so much fun, come and stay.
Come and have a bubble bath.
Yeah, we've been
I'm going to take advantage of that
all
one.
around the world.
Well, you'll talk to anybody, you two, I know, but you will, won't you? You're social animals, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we love people. People are lovely. Yes, there are so many negative stories and doom and gloom and these terrible things, and the politicians are doing this, that and the other. Honestly, I have no time for it, because generally 99.999 recurring, everybody is lovely. We love people and their stories. We meet the most interesting people, don't we? Yeah. We just get talking to the most fabulous people.
Right, I need to look a little. Yeah. Can I just? I'm not going to delve, but I will just have a look. No, I don't want to delve. I just want to look. Right, well, to the back here. Oh, the bed is across the back of the van, of course.
It's a fixed bed.
And that's your 6 foot odd
fixed bed, so we don't have to put it down and take it up every night, which is what we wanted.
Fantastic. And a shower and a loo.
Yeah.
In here.
Two gas
there
sinks
it is.
and a little sink.
This is it. Right, there's your sink, and you
Kettle.
We've got a little
Lightweight.
Plastic
Everything's
bowl. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, why is the kettle not rattling the bowl? It's a plastic bowl.
Doubles up as a water filler. Look at that.
Yeah,
Water
quite.
carrier.
Oh, very good.
Yep. We
Very
try
good.
to be as clever as possible with our space saving and also our environmental things, because obviously lots of the plugs and things now are melamine. But what we've done is we've actually got bamboo
Cups.
bamboo cups. We've got thermal cups as well.
Try and avoid the plastic.
Bamboo
you see,
plates.
if you can.
Yeah, we've got jugs and bits and pieces in here, and like containers to store tea bags and J cloths and things. Everything's well tucked away.
I think we've probably actually still got a bit of space dotted around.
Really?
And we've got look, solar bee lights.
Oh yes, we've got solar lights
Little solar bee lights that
with
come
our
on at night.
bees.
Oh, look at that.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And then I've got my chicken bunting because I miss my chickens.
Yeah.
I did actually give my chickens to a friend, so that's I can get to go and visit some of my chickens. I am.
It's because it's sunny. They won't. You have to cover it with your hand.
Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Yeah.
Oh, they look nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
They
I
look
have.
nice.
Yeah,
I
they
have
are
actually
cool.
got a strip of LED lights to put all the way inside the van that change colour, but Marianne thinks I've lost the plot with that.
I think we look like a kebab family.
So today's the day you say goodbye to your friends for a while.
It is, yeah. It's goodbye for a while. I mean, you know, well, nowadays with the internet, it's very easy to keep in touch with people, Skyping and seeing things, seeing them online. But yeah, it's we've got a bit of a do today. I have no idea how many people are coming. The thing is, we did put it live on sort of our social media things before it was on the BBC Midlands, when we didn't have so many people following us, and now there's thousands of people following us. So the pub could be slightly busy this afternoon.
Which pub is this?
It's the Ugly Duckling at Long Lane.
Right, there you go.
And we're there from 12 to 12.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be busy. So yeah.
But we're going to use this to a whole day, and I know it seems like a marathon of a day.
We won't be
but we've
drinking
got-
from 12 to 12.
No, but we've got friends who've got family and children, and we've said goodbye to our children, but they're going to be coming along as well, so that will be lovely. And we have no intentions of abandoning our children for parents that are worried that we're going to abandon our children. Our children are all grown up. In fact, we even have a granddaughter.
I was going to say they're not little kids that you live with. You've got a granddaughter. You're going to miss your granddaughter.
I will, but she's awesome, and
How old is she?
she's 16 months old. But the great thing is that she's now worked out FaceTime, and she actually fiddles with phones and things, so she's great. But we are going to go off and do trips. We're going to Ireland for 2 months. Then we're going to come back and we're going to swing by, pop and see the kids for a week. Then we're going to go off and do a little bit of Europe for a couple of months, and then we're going to come home for Christmas. And our son and daughter-in-law, who have given me the most beautiful granddaughter, Amelia, they've invited us for Christmas, so we'll be coming home for Christmas with them. So we'll spend a couple of weeks with them. That would be lovely. And then we're going to fly to Costa Rica. We've been given a beautiful invitation to go to Costa Rica to visit some friends over there. So we're going to fly over there. And whilst we're doing that, we're going to try and investigate how we can get Trudy to another continent.
Yeah, we've set ourselves the challenge, in case you haven't seen us online or anything, to step foot in every country in the world.
Every.
Every.
Not necessarily in Trudy. Everyone's like, "How are you going to get Trudy to the Galapagos?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe that's not possible." But we're going to step foot in every country in the world, and we're researching at the moment just how we would get the insurance, like if we wanted to drive Trudy to Australia or ship her to Singapore and drive her home, or do some kind of mad trip. So we're and then a lot of people have sort of said, but there's so many countries in the world with such problems. How are you going to go to every country? And because this is a long-term plan, we're not taking a year out. We're doing this for the next 20 to 30 years, unless our health determines otherwise. So this is a life's decision. This isn't a holiday.
But my father is 87. He had a stroke 5 years ago. He's back fit and fabulous, and he still rides his motorbike on 100-mile rallies with the Vintage Motorcycle Club. So it's in the genes. We are fairly certain. Chris's granddad was 95, so we're fairly certain that we're going to be able to be as creative and go for it, really. And we'll just see
Insane
how
or
it goes.
inspirational, I'm not sure, but and if you do see us driving around, you can't miss the van.
It says Trudy on the side. It says treadtheglobe.com.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
we
we've
love
got a YouTube channel, and it's covered in YouTube
that?
site. The
100
YouTube's just called Tread the Globe, so if you just go on there, you'll be
And
able to find.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, and all the sort of
But do
usual.
wave and honk your horn because we absolutely
And
love
fellow
it.
campers, wave. We
Yeah,
love
we love the camper
the
life.
wave.
When do wagons? When we set off, we used to have a caravan. We used to go on holiday to France with a caravan on the back of the car. And as we set off, as the wheels moved, I used to say, right, wagons roll, this is it, the holiday starts here, your adventure starts
Yes.
here. When do wagons roll and when is the big day?
Well, today really. I mean, we've been parked up for the last.
Up to see mates
we've
today,
been-
sitting down having a drink.
No, it's tomorrow
It
morning.
is
We
officially,
actually,
really.
yeah, tomorrow morning, after we've had our goodbye party, we're going to park up at the Ugly Duckling, and then we're going to go next door for breakfast tomorrow morning at Long Lane Cafe, and then we're going to start driving to Scotland because we have booked a boat from Cairnryan to Belfast.
Yeah.
We actually chose that journey because it's a very short journey, because originally we had our Great Dane Cross Dalmatian dog coming with us, but unfortunately a couple of weeks ago they found a tumour when they were just finished doing his pet
That's why
passport.
that area under there was sort of like a bit of a bed. We had
we've
the
had it
van custom
carpeted
for him, but
and-
you know, unfortunately, these things
Yeah,
happen.
They had to let him go on the table, so
So we're poodling up to Scotland
yeah,
for
we're
3
gonna-
days.
Then across to Ireland for a wedding.
We've got a wedding in Donegal. Some of our friends from Borneo flying back for a family wedding there, and then we're going to do that. We're going to drive and film the whole coastal road of Ireland.
Look, we're going to have to leave it because the weather's waiting. Any minute now,
Okay.
the weather is waiting to hear, and then we've got to crack on. I wish you well.
thank you.
Thank
so
you
much.
very
Bon voyage and all the cliched phrases that you can
Thank
think
you,
of.
Eric. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Keep contact, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
will.
We
We'll
will come
pop
back
in.
and give you.
Lovely.
We'll give you an
We'll pop
update.
in.
I mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contact. We
We
want to
will.
know where you are. You want to give us a ring anytime. You ring up and say we're in the
Okay.
Galapagos Islands or wherever.
We
it is.
will
We
do
have
that.
2 extra seat belts, as you can see in Trudy, so just jump on a flight, come and find us.
And we'll drive you around for a couple of weeks.
It's great to see you both. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. Thank
lovely.
you.
Thank
Chris
you.
and Marianne Fisher, they're off on their big adventure. It's treadtheglobe.com. Have a look at that. Keep tabs on them on Facebook, on YouTube. They're going to have a great time, and you can vicariously go with them.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Come with us.
Okay, let's get the weather for Shropshire. Here's Alex Hamilton.